like everyone doesn't realize, is they 2 actresses in Los Angeles. A lot of work goes into A, looking that way, and B, it's not real. So we were talking on the way up here, and on camera, there's a lot of, you know, you look at certain stars like Jennifer Aniston, that sort of person, where you're like, oh, they always look beautiful, what is it?
She's so skinny, like, yeah.
She knows her light, she knows her camera angles, she tells the cinematographer what lenses not to use. She can say that because she's Jennifer Aniston, you know? But at the end of the day, she probably goes home, throws her hair up, and then eats some ice cream in front of the television like us all. You know? It's a vicious cycle at this point, because they are, people of that caliber are, you know, what we look to define beauty.
And they have to be beyond what is normal. Like, they really focus too much on being skinny because the camera adds weight to your body. And so we're looking at these people that look normal on camera, and then we see them on a red carpet, and we're like, oh wow, they look really thin. That's beautiful. Like, that's, everybody likes that. I should be that. But in reality, like in person, it's scary. Like, I've walked by some of these girls and I'm like, oh my God, like you look like a skeleton.
It starts with us here and now, though, redefining beauty. And I feel like when I do teach pole dancing in Los Angeles, I teach it for outreach for women who've gone through eating disorders or abuse. And we teach in a studio that has no mirrors, and we turn the lights down low. And in that sort of situation, it's kind of like an incubator for thoughts to disappear and your body to turn on. I see women come alive. I see the most beautiful movement. I see bodies talk. I see what day they've gone through, what stress they're letting go of, what their story is through dance. And I feel like beauty should not be defined by how you look, but by how you feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Preach it.
I didn't expect that. So yes, we wanted to talk about how we combat those moments, because yes, my boyfriend JD is here, and I had told him, like, oh, I look so fat, I don't want to do this, everyone's taking pictures, but at the end of the day, I just have to focus on what makes me feel good. I have a friend who loves to bake, so she bakes, and that makes her feel good. For me, it's pole dancing. You know, I go and I dance, and it makes me feel good.
I go to this group dance class with some of the other, like Katie, who's her roommate, and we go, and everyone is breathing so hard the entire mirror fogs up. And everyone's like, it's like a spiritual experience, because you're in there like dancing like a crazy person, and you've got people that are professional dancers, and people like me who suck, and everyone's just sweating and having the best time, and everyone has a different body type, but everyone is beautiful. And it's the best. When you're looking around and everyone's like smiling and grooving out, and you're like, yeah.
Speaking of Katie, you might see her. If you see her, she works for LeakyCon. Her name's Katie Burnside.
She's amazing.
She's amazing. She's my roommate. Whenever she has a pool day and she's feeling like down on herself, what she'll do, because she's a stylist and she's gorgeous, she'll just dress up in gorgeous clothes and put on makeup and do her hair and then does whichever she has to do that day. And I think it's because, when we really haven't talked about it to a certain extent, but I think it's because like you don't want to go out in your day looking like wearing sweatpants, because it's just going to make you feel more drab. So that makes her feel good. That makes her feel good at the end of the day. And honest to God, honest to goodness, by the end of the day, she comes back and she's like, yeah, I got a lot done and I feel so much better. So whatever makes you feel good makes you beautiful. So I think we kind of want to open.
Yeah, let's open it up.
Any kind of questions?
We want us to be like a very open discussion between everybody.
It's a conversation. Hi, what's your name?
I'm Claire.
Hi, Claire.
Hello.
Come on over here.
Oh, yeah.
Really cozy.
What do you have to say for people who have disabilities? Like, I have a hearing loss, so sometimes I feel really down.
Oh. Disabilities at the end of the day set you apart. That's what I think. I have celiac disease. I can't eat gluten. So I meet people and they're like, you can't eat cake? What about pancakes? No, and it makes us special. And And honestly, it challenges us and it makes us stronger as people. Now, celiac disease is nothing like a hearing loss, it's nothing like diabetes, it's nothing like any kind of disability, they're all different. But it makes us stronger at the end of the day. What do you think?
I completely agree. And it makes you special and grow in ways that other people won't or can't because they're not going through the same experience. And it makes you amazing, so.
And honestly, when one of our senses I think it's scientific.
Yeah, everything compensates. So like if you're blind, your hearing is going to be so much better than somebody who isn't. So you probably have 10 times better eyesight than I do.
You probably have spidey senses.
See, that's amazing. I have a terrible sense of touch. That's incredible.
That's so cool.
Like, you're going to get to experience things that neither of us, and I'm sure like nobody in this room is ever going to get to experience, just through your sense of touch. Like, that's pretty incredible.
You feel things that make you feel better at a higher degree, at a higher sensitivity, which is cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, girl, own it. Princess gloves.
Princess gloves. Oh, you do.
You're Miss Cooter? All right, Miss Cooter.
How has your image of body changed since you became more famous?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, I can start. At first it was really hard for me because I grew up in LA and I went to high school in LA, but none of my friends were in the industry or anything, and so nobody cared. And then I took a gap year before college. I'm starting college in September, but on my gap year, all my friends went away and I had to make a whole bunch of new friends. And a lot of the people that I was meeting were just very concerned with how they looked all the time. And I would be with girls that looked amazing and beautiful, and all they would talk about was, I just have to lose another 3 pounds and then I'll be perfect. Or like, let me take this supplement to help me knock off weight and I'll be good by tomorrow. And it just made me start to get a little bit down on myself, because I would be thinking like, oh, well, I mean, if she's not beautiful, what am I? And it took me a couple of months to kind of get through that. And I was dealing with a lot of like pressure, like outside pressure. People were telling me like, oh, you need to lose weight, oh, you need to look like this. And I kind of had to put all of that aside, which was it was a hard journey. It was a difficult thing. And when I did, I'm still working on it. Like, there's still moments where I'll be like, oh, I had a brownie, I'm terrible. And I'm like, no, I had a brownie, and it was delicious. And it's just, it took me a while to, because you know stuff, but you don't know stuff, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And I always knew, like, okay, I'm beautiful, own my body, da-da-da. And it took me until like January to get, oh wait, I have a beautiful body. And my body is not the same as your body or anybody's body in here. And I saw this awesome thing on Tumblr the other day, and it was this photographer who did a photo shoot with like 6 or 7 different girls. And they are all different heights and sizes, and some of them are like super tall and really like lean, and some of them are like shorter and like super curvy, and they all weigh the exact same amount. Which I thought was awesome, and it's true. It's not about that, it's just about how you feel, and if you own it's all about confidence.
Right. When I moved to Los Angeles, I came from Ann Arbor, Michigan, which, if anyone's ever been there, it's like a little bastion, it's a little hippie town with trees, and lots of vegan bakeries, and...
So it's like Portland.
It's like Portland. A lot of bearded men. That's great. And so I came to Los Angeles, which is like, spin class and Spanx and blah, 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 blah. And honestly, to be completely honest, it affected my auditioning. And I would go into a room, and I've been acting for years. I've been trained, I can do it, I know I've been in front of the camera, no problem. But to be in Los Angeles, it took me about maybe a year and a half, 2 years, where I would walk in a room and I would be still thinking like, yeah, I'm a really good actress, but I'm not skinny enough for this role. And I would read, there's a term in the industry called green. If you read green, or if you go
I have the exact same thing.
If you audition, oh my gosh.
That's so weird. We didn't even talk about that.
If you audition green, it means you've inexperienced, and so no one wants you on set because you don't know what you're doing. So they'd be like, yeah, she's got great potential, but she's green. And I would just like be so crushed because I'm not green. I know what I'm doing, and it was all because of this like thing in the back of my head, my brain telling me that I wasn't enough. And I was in acting class the other day, and I had a girl say, one of my acting scene partners, say that we as humans carry around all this guilt. Guilt because we ate a brownie. Guilt because we didn't work out today. Guilt because X, Y, and Z, fill in the blanks. But at the end of the day, we are good people. We care for other people. We love other people. We make the world a better place. So we just need to let go of the guilt. So what if we ate a brownie? So what if I probably don't look as skinny as Jennifer Aniston on screen? Whatever. Let go of the guilt and just let yourself grow. Because when you do, you can really, really come to who you're supposed to be.
Okay, so there's so much pressure at school to like look good for people, like boys or girls, because everyone's like, oh, if I don't look like this, then maybe they won't like me. Like, do you have any like things to say about like making yourself look good for other people always at school?
Oh, here's a little secret about boys. They don't care what you They really don't. Right? They don't care, right? No.
Like you guys in the room.
Thank you, Dennis, for being here. And boys don't care what you wear. They care about confidence. When you have, they remember how you laugh. They remember your smile.
And if he does care about what you wear, what you look like, he is not worth sticking around.
Love it. Also, like girlfriends, I went to a private school, high school, so I didn't have that. We had like, what fashionable purse would you carry around? And honestly, like we were talking about earlier, dress for yourself. What makes you feel good? Wear the blue eyeliner if you like to. Wear a little love good costume if you want to. People are gonna remember it, and if you wear it with confidence, then you know, and that's easier said than done. I get it, but wear what makes you feel good, and boys don't care. Let's get someone from the back. Yes, all the way in the back, right there. Yes, you. Come here.
So everyone's always talking about what they don't like about their body. So I was wondering what you do like about your body or yourself in general.
Yeah, you know what? Everybody, when you guys leave this panel, I want everybody to go home or whatever they're doing to their hotel, whatever, and make a list of what you love about your body. Because that is so important.
Yeah.
You know, it's so important.
Like I said, I teach pole dancing, and I like the way I'm really strong. I'm very strong. I haven't done it in a week, but usually if you see me, I have lots of bruises on my legs and on my arms because, you know, you're hoisting yourself up and spinning yourself around, and so your skin hits the pole, and it hurts, you get bruises. But I like those bruises. They're my badge of honor. I have blisters right here. It reminds me of what I can do. I like that I feel strong. I like that, you know, I can run for a long time. I like my skin. That reminds me of my mom. My mom used to model back in the day, and she has gorgeous skin. And so my skin reminds me of my mom. I like lots of the things that I like about myself remind me of the people I love. So like I have my dad's, the shape of his eyes. Oh, you're gonna make me cry, I miss my parents. I like that, I like the way I bite my lip because it's the way my brother bites his lip. Things like that. Those are the things that I like. They don't really necessarily reflect beauty, they just reflect the people I love in my life and what I can do that I love.
I like I have really strong arms.
She does.
And it's like the only thing about me. Like, I can do like 30 man push-ups, and that, I have a lot of pride in that.
That chest cavity thing you talked about, it's probably because you're a singer. You have a big diaphragm to carry notes.
Yeah. I love my giant chest cavity. I love my eyes because they're my mom's color. I love my lips as well because they're my sister's. I'm the same way. I've got like all the things that I like about my body. It's stuff from my parents. Yeah. And family, and because that's what it is. It's not about the external. It's about the internal, and then that kind of comes out.
I also like things I can't do. Like I can't snap to save my. Can't do that. I can't snap. I've tried.
As everybody goes.
Why? You just have to do this. I've tried. I can't snap. I think it's cool. It's an icebreaker. Hey, I can't snap.
I can do the wig with my eyebrows.
Do it.
Do it.
Okay. I have to be serious, otherwise I can't. It's hard for me. Okay.
That's awesome.
As it should be. Yeah, that was a really great question. Yes, you over there with the glasses. Yes, you. Come on, go. Press it down.
Okay, so a few days ago, or weeks, I have no sense of time.
LeakyCon.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with what just happened with Alex Day. Is anyone? What happened was he made a video that was satire. He was like joking about girls in costumes who were like bigger girls that shouldn't be wearing costumes that are small. And he was kidding, and he's apologizing. It's all good now. But in the video, he really didn't make it clear that he was joking. And I just want to ask, we've kind of focused on like you telling yourself that you're not beautiful. What do you have to say to other people telling you that you're not beautiful?
That's a really tough question. I mean, I don't want to sound cliche, but at the end of the day, when people tell you that you're not beautiful, it's just from a place of insecurity, and they're just being little people. Because honestly, I mean, we're only put on this earth. I hate to get really kind of like philosophical, but we're only put. Follow me into the depths. I hate to get deep, but we're only put on this earth for a little time, And what are we gonna? It matters most what we do with that time. Are we gonna tear people down or build people up? And if anyone tears, even if it is a joke, recently, I don't know if you guys seen, there's been a video online called the Women of LA video. It's about like this guy who can't get dates with women of LA because, or none of the women in LA will sleep with him because he's not hot enough or he's not rich enough, blah, 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 blah. And it makes women of LA look very petty. So I remember being very angry, but at the end of the day, yes, they're just joking and they're trying to, and it's comedy. And the root of comedy is to be the jester and you're called light to things, sure. But just know that you are who you are and they are being little. And they can't touch you when you're strong, And you just have to surround yourself with people who make you feel better. Again, again, be with the people who make you feel good.
And if they don't, take care of yourself. Like, it's okay to cut people out who aren't making you feel good. And like, I have this problem because I like to take care of people. So like, there have been people in my life, like friends and stuff, who have actually taxed a lot on my energy and my spirit, but I've always felt like, oh no, I have to be there for them as a friend. So I have to stay on the phone with them for 4.5 hours, despite the fact that I have food poisoning and I'm, I'm so stressed out. I have 3 scripts to read because she needs me right now. And there comes a point when you kind of have to draw the line and, you know, take a step back, and it's really hard. Like, I still have relationships that I have to do that with, where you kind of have to take a step back and be like, okay, this is not necessarily in my best interest. And we're conditioned, especially as women, to not think about ourselves in a good light. Like, I read this such an interesting thing where if you compliment a guy who has done something great, say he's got a great job or whatever, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that you're now the VP. He'll be like, thank you. I know, it's, you know, like, it's very exciting. Whereas if you say that to a woman, she'll be like, oh yeah, well, you know, I got lucky and I worked really hard, and you make like a lot of excuses. I do that all the time.
Yeah, me too.
Like, whenever people give me a compliment, I do everything I can to deny it.
Sure.
And it's so important to sit there and just say, thank you, and own it. And that, like, owning that part of yourself is the same thing with people that aren't necessarily, you know, good energy in your life. You have to stand there and say, wait a minute, I need to take care of myself. Like, this is me, this is what I'm doing, and this is not necessarily the best for me at this time. And if they're a good friend, they'll respect that.
I also read a self-help book when I was like 18. And I remember the biggest thing I remember was when you meet someone, anybody, or when you just talk to anybody, the first thing in your mind when you talk to them should be, I love you. And then that just colors your interactions with them. Because if you approach anybody with love, just like opening yourself up and just saying, it doesn't matter what you have to say to me because I already love you. And they can't hurt you. You've already made your decision with them, and you've already like greeted them with a positive energy, and they can do with it as they want, you know. But you've already done your deed, you know. So yeah.
That's great.
F the haters. I love the haters. I get a lot of slack for what I do and what I teach in daily, because people are like, so like, do you like strap? No, actually I teach women who have been abused. And then that usually ends the conversation. They give them a look like this. I think there's definitely been, oh God, slut shaming. And the double standard, there's nothing that angers me more. And especially, I mean, I don't know, I can't really gauge the age of this crowd, but once you get into college with like, or once you, it doesn't even have to be college, once you feel ready to experiment and become who you want to be, there is this double standard with women who you have to be. I remember having conversations, and I love my parents, there's these conversations I've done with my parents, because my brother can curse and cuss at the TV when there's a football game until the cows come home. But if I say like, you know, shit, or whatever, my parents, my mom would literally have this kind of reaction. She would say, no, you can't say that. It's a double standard. It's just, and there always will be this double standard. And I honestly still try to figure out, because a part of me wants to get mad about the slut shaming and stuff, but then, of course, if you get mad as a woman, you're a bitch, you know? And it's terrible. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, it's something that I'm still, like, it's a really hard, it's a hard issue, because on the one hand you've got, you know, all the popular rappers who, yeah, you know, we all love dancing to their songs, but when you actually listen to the lyrics, and they're about just completely over-sexualizing women and not even treating them like they're people, and you're like, wait a minute, this is what we're listening to and we're putting into our heads every single day, and like, I guarantee you that stuff gets stuck in our subconscious.
Yeah,
You know?
I also, okay, so yes, with what I do, I teach a lot of women how to feel sexy and how to move sexily. But again, you can't do that. You can't express yourself in that way unless you feel good. You have to feel good first.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So yeah, we can hop and bop to like all those hip-hop songs the kids are playing these days and stuff, but at the end of the day, they can say whatever they want. Just like we talked about with people who are calling other people ugly. They can say whatever they want. It's just how you feel, you know?
Yeah.
But I can't be right. I can't stand
But it's an awful double standard, and you see it everywhere. And it's so annoying that we've been put in this position as
How do
women.
you fight battles like this?
Because if you go one way, you're one thing, and if you go another way, you're the other. And like, no matter, it's like there's no good option, because no matter what, you're going to be put in a box and labeled incorrectly.
I think it's the first step is awareness, you know? Yes. And we're all young women in here, and we're aware of it. And who knows what the next generation will bring, you know? So yes, wear the high heels, especially here at LeakyCon, or do whatever you want.
Dress up, put on the makeup,
We're,
you know,
there's
whatever
no-
makes you feel good.
I saw some girl back there going,
Yes.
she's been waiting for us to say yes all day. I had anorexia and bulimia. I had started when I was, I used to model in high school. I had it since for about 5 to 7 years, and I'm over the hump now. Took a long time, took a lot of love, took a lot of people, took a lot of courage. It's a huge part of my life. It's a huge part of my daily struggle. I really don't. I find myself searching for the words, even though, because it's a very personal thing. I can say something about my eating disorder history, my past, and my recovery, but it means something completely different for someone else. The only advice I give to people who think they might be struggling with it, or have a friend who might be struggling with it, is you are not. They are not. They have to be ready for change, because it's an addiction, first of all, but it's the most painful and scary addiction because it's against yourself. You're addicted to hurting yourself. You're addicted to the feeling of relief that you get from that. So all I can say, if you have a friend who might be going through it, just be there for them with love. That's all I can say. You know, and life gets better on the other side, I promise.
I never had an eating disorder, but when I was kind of adjusting to the LA lifestyle, I did have what I would call disordered eating, where I would be like super strict and like almost dieting like 3 or 4 days, and then if I would have like one bite of a brownie, I would be like, oh well, I guess today's a cheat day, and I would literally just eat every single thing I could until it made me sick, and I would be like sitting there like, oh my god, I wish I could throw up. And I actually like, I couldn't bring myself to do it, but it was just a feeling of hating myself and sitting there like, oh, like what, this is awful. And I'm still getting over that, because there's a balance between, I kind of got addicted to being healthy.
That's a disorder, for sure.
Which is also another thing, where like, I literally thought that I was the most evil person on this earth if I had a bite of a brownie. And if I did have a bite of a brownie, I would be like, okay, well, I guess I'm already evil, so I might as well. And it made me sick. Like, I would feel terrible, and I still did it because I was like, well, I'm not going to get it again for another week. Like, I better stock up. And it took me a while. It took me a long time to get to the point where I could say, yes, you know what? I'm going to eat what makes me feel good because it makes me feel good. And if I'm craving chocolate, I'm going to have some chocolate. And you know, and like, I like eating healthy because I feel good, but if I want something bad, I'm not going to deny myself because it's not bad. It's sustenance. It's sustenance. You just have to think of food as fuel for your body, and that's kind of what changed the way I thought about it.
And at the end of the day, we aren't numbers on a scale. We're more than that.
That's huge. I'm still dealing with that.
We're not numbers on a scale. It doesn't matter. I never weigh myself anymore. I can't. I don't do it. Also, know that food has a chemical effect on us. So when we eat, dopamine is released in the brain, and we feel at peace. We feel peaceful when we eat. So sometimes people try to, when there's chaos so much in our life, we eat a lot because it's like, oh, I feel that peace again, and I can take a break from that because I'm eating now, and people understand that. Or on the flip side, you know, same thing if you starve yourself, it's that same kind of chemical release. And all I have to say is to trust the chaos. It's going to take you somewhere. Trust it. You know, food is a burger. Food is fuel. It's nothing else. It doesn't make or break you. It doesn't define who you are.
I hear that compliment all the time given out. And you know what? You know how I was saying before how normally as women we're supposed to like not to take compliments? That is one of the few that we are. Which is kind of ridiculous.
Oh my God, you're so skinny. It's a tough one. I mean, these are all really good questions.
Yeah.
I think when people say that to you, just know that it comes from a place of like, it's a loaded question, yes, but it's more of like people trying to be like, hey, I think you look fantastic, and they just don't know how to phrase it correctly. Does that make sense? So they say, oh yes, you look great, you've lost weight, blah, blah, blah. It's more than being like, maybe it's them being like, what have you done, what's your secret? Or maybe it's them just trying to like, hey, I want to connect with you and I think you look amazing. I know it might have come from a place of depression, so gracefully, I think I would just say, thank you. Thank you, and you know what you've been through, and you know what it is.
Yeah.
You can't change other people. You can only change what your own dynamic is. Does that make sense?
And also, a lot of time it's probably coming from their own insecurity. You know, like I know people that have given that compliment. I know when I've given that compliment to somebody, and it's because I'm not necessarily feeling the best about myself that day. And it's like, oh, well, you look good. You know, like.
The comment I hate that I get sometimes, because I wear my emotions on my face, is, wow, you look really tired. Are you okay?
Oh, I get it too.
And it's like, because what they're meaning is like, can I do anything for you? There's subtext. I think what the point is, you have to decipher the subtext beneath it.
Yeah.
So like, you look really tired means you should probably know, can I do anything for you? But what it sounds like is you look like crap. Which I always didn't like. And whenever I do, or another thing I say is, do I? You lost weight, have I? Oh, I don't know. And then move on.
Yeah, that's a good one. I say that too. I don't know.
I don't know.